A big day for high school sports, and it finally happened. The AHSAA reclassification, and it's split between public and private schools. So this is going to change how we see most of the impacts of the private schools. As a part of the restructure, there's actually no more 7A for public schools. Instead, classifications are going to run from 1A through 6A. And it was a unanimous vote for 13-2, so almost there. But while private schools are still in their own region now, finally by themselves, single A and double A, public and private schools can still play each other during the regular season, but postseason play will be strictly split between public and private schools. And while these changes are in place, let's take a look at those new classifications and those regions for our area. So we're going to start with our classes 1A through 3A. We see Abbeville and Barbara who moved down to 1A, and then we've got Red Level over here. And then most of our 2A stays the same, but we see a lot of our private schools out of that mix. And for our 3A, we only have Opp, who's moved down into Region 1 by themselves, but we see three other 4A teams move down: Daleville, Geneva, and Pike County. But now moving into our 4A, we see a lot of those 5As that were there last year that have now gathered into that mix. And we're going to see we have like Andalusia and Eufaula and Headland and Carroll. They've all dropped down a little bit. And Charles Henderson and Rehoboth are both by themselves in the region for 4 and 5A. But our two top dogs are still Dothan Enterprise in the 6A. That's the highest they can go. But for our private schools, this is where we've seen something where we have not seen yet. So we've got our single A, and we have Northside Methodist and Providence Christian in this one. And now a big jump, we see Pike Lib in the single A Region 2. But for double A, this is huge. Houston Academy is now on their own going into this. So there's going to be a lot that's happening out there in the sports world. And all of Region 2 is made up of all of these teams that we see right here.